Hi, it's me, Ingridine P. And I'm sorry for all the drama. Um, I took down my videos on this channel for a few days, and I also um, blocked all you guys on Instagram, and then took myself temporarily off Instagram. And then, so now I'm back on Instagram and here. Um, and I'm sorry if I worried people. Um, I I basically was in a manic state of being. It was not a mania, which I have discussed with the doctor about. Um, I thought that the medication had maybe induced some kind of mania, with the hypochondria that I have as a doctor. Like I thought maybe I had some bipolar genes that had activated because of sertraline. But it was not the case. If that had been the case, I would have had the symptoms from the start of the treatment, and it wouldn't have been this mild. Okay, this didn't feel mild, but what this was like all of these repressed emotions from childhood up. Also, it ends up I was having my period, so um, all of this became exacerbated, and I just felt like there was a motor in me that was pushing me on, and I was so tired because I'm not sleeping, and all sorts of crazy thoughts were coming into my head. I had this weird dream because I don't go into like deep sleep, I go into like REM sleep, fast in and out of REM sleep. So I had this weird kind of lucid dream, but it wasn't lucid. It was like I was in a gas chamber, and it was only my head that was in the gas chamber. If any of you have watched like um well, the prisoners on the fort in Favoya, is like a game show that they have in France. um like it's basically just like you're like on a anyway, my head, it was only my head that was stuck in a gas chamber, and there was this guy, never met this guy before, who was in charge of this machine, and he kept turning the gas on, and like I would I would like fall into this hallucinatory state in my dream, and then I would keep like and like I was in control of it all. Like I knew that I could stop him from doing it, but I was doing it to myself. Like I was drugging myself up in my dream, and then because I wanted to be in this weird kind of state that this gas or drug put me in. And then I would want to stay asleep, but and I could stay asleep, and then I wake up. So I was in a really I was having really weird stuff going on. And then I was supposed to like go to work the next day as if nothing had happened during the night, and um, I I was really tired at work, and then I was supposed to do all this stuff, and I have to do all this work, this therapy work, homework that's in itself is not triggering in the least. But I overthink it, and then I go into way deeper than these CBT things should be. So I'm still following this book. But yeah, it hasn't been an easy time for me. A lot of stuff that I didn't recognize has been happening. But it's apparently not the medication's fault, really. It's just me getting all these emotions. So I feel much better once I talked to the psychologist and to my psychiatrist, or she's not a psychiatrist, she's just a regular doctor. Um, I had to go through a lot with my psychologist last time. I talked about my parents, which has been a big thing. Um, like I haven't had always like a super healthy thing with them. Even though I think that it's pretty normal. It's pretty normal to have like conflict within the family and such, but um, there, I had to talk a little bit about how my perfectionism stems from my parents, um, how I didn't feel like I was good enough, and that kind of thing. I also had to, well, also in like related to that, I did come out as gay to my therapist because, well, that was kind of a thing that separated me from my parents, because they don't know about my sexual orientation. And I'm not about to tell them now because like they're not very understanding, and I can't really talk to them about feelings at the moment. So I put those videos back up about me talking about, well, my difficult stuff with my parents. It does affect me. So that was quite a lot to take in, and so I broke down crying, and then I went back to work because I had administration to do, but I could only stay there for a few hours before I had to go back home to sleep, because I took like I was in such a manic state that I had to like sedate myself by taking several sleep medication things. So of course I wasn't super like awake in the morning when I met my psychologist and the doctor. So yeah, and then I had to make the plan for how I'm going to go back to work, and it's not like I'm minimizing my stuff in front of the doctor and my boss and such. It's just that it depends on my mood. Sometimes my mood is like, oh, I can manage to do completely normal, and then like the next day I want to be home from work, and since I've only shown like the positive part of me to the doctor and to my boss, they don't see that I'm actually struggling a lot. They gave me my boss gave me a medical student to take care for one day because apparently, well, another doctor was on a long Easter leave and he'd forgotten. So he was the one who was supposed to take care of the student. But I took care of the student and I realized like I couldn't do it. It just took too much energy from me. I had to do all of the documentation on my patients at the end of the day, and I just couldn't. Um, and then I saw that I had my own like medical student in 2 weeks' time, and nobody had planned anything like to help me with my workload during that time. So I had to have a discussion with my boss about that. And it's like I always want to show that I can manage a ton of stuff, but like I actually can't. So it kind of makes me sad. I can't handle the stuff that I could before, and yeah. So today I had driving, and I really showed a brave face to keep driving, but then I came home and I was just like, ugh, gosh, because like my manic stuff was basically like me being super impulsive driving for some weird reason, being super angry at people, getting in tons of conflicts with people, which even though that is good, that I could actually be assertive, which is something that both my therapist and my doctor and my supervisor said, that it's good that I could speak up. It also comes with a lot of this frustrated energy, so which doesn't help me sleep. I also was going to meet a friend at 3:30 and then go to my driving at 4, and then it ends up that my friend didn't stop working at 3, like she said. She stopped working at 4, so I couldn't meet up the friend. But it was like kind of like, that's not the kind of thing that I would usually do, to like plan a bunch of stuff and then not manage to do the stuff. And it's like, and I get mad at small things, and it's just, there's a lot of grr going on. I can't really, and I felt like I didn't recognize myself, and that's why I went into lockdown. You know, I didn't recognize myself. I felt like I was going to say something impulsive to people. I also went now to get a massage, which I've never done before, and like I just felt like so anxious and mad that I started crying during the massage. And I couldn't really appreciate the massage because of all of this pent up energy that I had. And I felt like, couldn't she hurry up with the, you know? I just feel like I'm on the move on all the time. And I don't want to. I just want to go on a vacation and sleep all day, you know? And so up to a certain extent, it's good for me that I'm not depressed. Like but it's instead I get run down and I get depressed anyway because I'm just doing so much. And I can't. So that's why this weekend I didn't like travel or do anything. I didn't do a ton of traveling for Easter either. I just went to Stockholm. I like, my head hurts. I'm not. It's like I'm not myself, and it's just really pissed me off. So I'm sorry if I like if people got hurt because I blocked them on Instagram. I I'm trying to have some kind of control over the social media. Because some people have been messaging, trying to friend my INFJ friend on Instagram, and because I had impulsively put a picture of him, several pictures of him on Instagram, and he's very protective of his privacy. So please don't try to contact him if you see that I tag him in my Instagram posts. So I've left some people, I put some people back up on Instagram as I follow, but only the select few. Okay. Because I don't want to make things more difficult for my INFJ friend. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to do something impulsively that is hurtful. I don't want to hurt myself in the process. So that's why I've been kind of on the low. But I'm back. I'll be posting this next CBT video, which I've pre-recorded. It will be the third chapter of this book that I'm going through, the CBT for Social Anxiety book. And it's only in Swedish, unfortunately. The reason is I'm going to be doing it in 2 parts because it's such a long and difficult chapter. So I'm not done with it yet. I'm supposed to be done with it by Wednesday, and I'm not. And today is Sunday, so yeah, I have a little bit of catching up to do. But it does help me making these videos. It's just I have to be a little bit careful. I was thinking about this metaphor. It's like getting new superpowers, like Superman or Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the best example I could think of, because at first he doesn't know like what his powers are, and so he kind of doesn't really know like how to get the spider web to like work, and it's like I've discovered the superpower of TE, but I don't have any subtlety in it, and I don't know like what I'm doing, and it makes me not act like myself and to do kind of stupid things, and so I don't have the control of the superpower yet. I don't have the force. I don't control the force. I'm just manically acting. So I'm not really there yet. I don't know how to use the powers, and that's why it kind of turns out wrong. I did stand up for myself during a doctor's meeting, which my supervisor like remarked upon. She was like, "Oh, that's a good job that you said something," because there was a doctor who is kind of new, and she was like deciding how we were going to do something when we already had a system in place to like take care of this. It was about people who smoke and how to help people stop smoking. Um, and she wanted to prescribe medication. And this medication, like, you have to ask for a special license to prescribe it because the medication we had before doesn't exist anymore. It's not produced anymore. So now we have to use this new thing that is like stronger and not as well studied. So she wanted us to all prescribe that, and I was like, well, no, like first we have to like have a discussion with the patient. So we have a nurse who specialized in that, and I said like I usually just send all the people there, and like the doctor did not. She's not used to people standing up to her, and like I wasn't even really standing up. I was just saying like, no, actually, we already have a system for this. And she was like, no, but I'll do it this way. And I was like, okay, you do it your way, but like, I'm going to keep doing it this way. And this was in front of other doctors and my boss. And I think that kind of surprised people, that because I usually stay so quiet. So there is some good to the fact that like I'm more assertive and I want to get things done more, like T style. But since I'm not a T user, I'm not an ESTJ, I have to learn to, tone it down, um, learn to use it in a good way, um, not in a way that exhausts me or that hurts other people. So that's kind of the conclusion of this week story. Um, I am getting better, so I'm not in the same state of mind as I was on Tuesday. But I have to be a little bit careful with myself, be gentle with myself, treat myself, and so that so that I can also be gentle to you guys, because like you guys do give me energy. It's just that there are certain ways where like I'm spreading myself too thin. So I am going to keep doing these videos, but I have to focus on my therapy first. So the videos are going to be mostly about my therapy journey, I guess, in the near future. So the next video will be CBT and rethinking the thoughts that we have, like these automatic thoughts that we have. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I hope you do too. Have a great day. Bye.